Here's the beginning stage where I decided to just paint the sky in without bothering to even draw anything, because I'm very familiar with this particular rock, as is everyone else who goes to that part of Central Australia. I decided to paint in the middle ground next. That's the pile of rocks which falls down in front of the big rock and has all sorts of little bushes and things growing on it. So here that is, and it turns out later that it's a little bit too light and I have to glaze it. Here I'm painting the rock itself in two stages. I've already painted a plain burnt umber background, and you see a blob of thick painting medium sitting there, just to show you what I'm using, and I spread that around, and then I get the cadmium red A2 and I spread it around, and you can see it has the look of being wet in wet when it really isn't. The umber colour underneath is already dry, so I know I can manipulate the red around a little bit if I want to. Next I just put in the trees, and I think everyone knows you paint from the back towards the front, so the trees are in front of the mountain, so, or the rock I should say, and so I wait till that gets dry and then I paint the trees in. And it turns out that the foreground, the background of the foreground, that greyish area where the rocks pile up, is a little bit too light.
Go.
I hope you'll find this next bit perhaps a little bit interesting, because I'm putting down a glaze, but I'm not trying to paint between the tree trunks. I just put the glaze right across the whole lot, and then I wipe back the tree trunks with a brush, a damp brush that sucks up the excess paint, so I can see where the tree trunks are. Now I want to tell you something about the mixing of this glaze, because I want to have a neutral transparent grey, and a very good way of mixing this is to take alizarin and phthalo green and mix them together, and they make a beautifully transparent grey, which can be either warm or cool according to how you balance those two colours. So that's what I did there. The medium that I'm using in the clear blob here is the clear painting medium. It spreads easily for glazes. Here's the last stage where I've, shall we say, rejuvenated the tree trunks a little bit, retouched them in places, and then I put a very, very faint glaze of Diox purple, which you can see it's very, very faint, and I did that using the thick painting medium because it's very controllable. And that's the finish.